So I'm just going to share with you 3 things that I think have been important to me, and I hope they're useful to you too. I don't know how your life works, and I don't know how Father in Heaven works with you or how the Spirit works with you, but I know how they've worked with me, and I suspect that it might be similar for you as well. And here's the first and most important thing that I want to persuade you of, that Heavenly Father prepares us years in advance for the problems that we may need to solve at an unforeseen time. And He's doing it all the time. The problem is that these little promptings that we occasionally get are so disconnected from the reason that we're receiving that prompting that it's easy to ignore them. And so my first admonition to everybody here tonight would be pay attention to those. Second, the problem in the world is not a scarcity of money. The problem is a scarcity of good ideas. I think the fact that you have a course called Do Good Better has an implicit criticism of the nonprofit sector in it. That implicit criticism is we're not doing good very good. The problem often is how we frame the problem. It's a lack of ideas often. If we say the problem with hunger is food, the problem with homelessness is a lack of housing, then we just provide a lot of housing. Well, as you visit with people who suffer from chronic homelessness, you get the clue that it's a little bit deeper than that. The reason so many of the things we throw effort and resource at in the social enterprise world or the social impact world don't work is because of a quality of the ideas, not because of a lack of resources. The third point I'd like to share is that if you don't worry about funding, what you should worry about instead is worthiness. And here's what I mean by that. Just briefly in summation here, at times of uncertainty in our business and even at the Other Side Academy and the Other Side Village, I've reassured myself with something that reassured George Washington. And what he would do when he would get depressed and start to think it was overwhelming is recite to him the words of a character in a play that he loved. And that character at one point says this, "'Tis not in mortals to command success, but there is something we can do. We can do more, we can deserve it." The question you ought to ask as you go out to try to change the world is, do you deserve to change the world? Have you put the work into the quality of the idea? And most importantly, are you measuring whether you're accomplishing it or not? The damning thing about the nonprofit world is there's so little accountability for resources. And most of your donors will never ask you for that accountability. They just want a good tearjerker story or two. And so it's up to you to have the integrity to hold yourself accountable to do that. I can give you every reassurance that if you follow preparatory promptings, and if secondly, you recognize that the quality of the idea is what matters, and third, you subject it to the kind of do good better discipline that you've been learning here, that you'll be able to change the world. Thank you.